Hello friends, welcome to our channel HT Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Today here I am going to discuss about indoor LT termination of PVC XLPE cable power cable. First I start with termination with gland. Here is the cable. This is cable outer sheath and this is the gland. This is single compression type glands. This is terminated at panel base plate. Here is the panel base plate and here is the check nut. This fix the gland with the base plate tightly. Hold it tightly. Next here it is lug. Here it is lug. Here it is lug. Here the lug is connected with the cable by crimping. This is the crimping portion, and after the crimping slight amount of standard conductor remains. Here first the ampere tape is wrapped in this portion. On this portion ampere tape wrapped just this portion. After the ampere tape, next PVC tape is wrapped over the ampere tape. And now our termination is ready for use. This is called indoor termination of LT PVC or XLP power cable with gland. Okay, next. Here in indoor termination of LT PVC XLP power cable, same with gland, but here is the difference is that here we use heat shrinkable tube instead of PVC tape over ampere tape. All are same. There is a diameter of cable outer sheath, a power cable, gland, check nut, panel base plate, XLP insulation, XLP cable. This is heat shrinkable tube. The heat shrinkable tube is a hollow tube. This is sliding over the XLP cable core, and then heat flame is given to shrink it on the core. This is used instead of ampere tape and PVC tape. Okay, next. Here is some definition which is related to the termination of LT cable. Lug. Cable lugs are electrical components used to connect safely cable terminals with electrical equipment. This is generally done by nut bolt. Gland. Cable gland are used to terminate the armor both mechanically and electrically and seals the cable entry to the electrical panel enclosure. There are two types of glands are used, single compression and double compression type. Single compression type gland are uses for lightly armored cable and seals on the outer sheath only. Double compression gland uses for heavily armored cable. It also seals and compressed inner sheath and outer sheath both. Here it is the picture of double compression gland, and here it is the single compression gland. Double compression gland is larger than single compression gland. This is the picture of the two gland. Okay, next. Here I show the different types of 3.5 core cable square mm according to the square mm of cable, unarmored and armored. OD means outer dia. This is outer dia, armored cable outer dia, and corresponding gland size in mm. Gland size diameter in mm. This is diameter. Gland size diameter in mm. Gland size diameter in mm. OD means outer dia. OD means outer dia. Cable size in square mm. This is 3.5 core cable, 25 square mm, 3 core and neutral 16 square mm. The unarmored cable outer dia 22 mm, gland size dia 25 mm. Armored cable outer dia 23 mm, gland size mm 28 mm. Note: choose lug size from square mm of cable size and gland size from outer diameter of cable. Next, 35 square mm 3.5 core, 35 square mm, neutral 16 square mm, unarmored cable OD 24 mm, gland size 28 mm, armored cable OD 25 mm and gland size 28 mm. Again, 3.5 core 50 square mm phase core, and this is the neutral 25 square mm. Unarmored cable outer diameter 27.5 and gland size 32 mm diameter. Armored cable 20 OD 28 mm, gland size 32 mm. Again 3.5 core 70 square mm phase core and neutral 35 square mm 31. Unarmored cable OD, gland size 38. Armored cable OD 32, gland size mm 38. 3.5 core 95 square mm cable, neutral 50 square mm. Unarmored cable outer diameter 35 mm, gland size diameter 45 mm. Armored cable OD 36 mm, gland size 45 mm. Next, 3.5 core 120 square mm cable, 70 square mm cable, 70 square mm neutral size, 37.5 mm unarmored cable OD, gland size 45. Armored cable OD 39 mm, gland size 45 mm. 3.5 core 150 square mm by 70 square mm neutral. Unarmored cable OD 41 mm, gland size 45 mm dia. armoured cable OD 42 mm and gland size 50 mm dia. Next 185 square mm by 95 square mm neutral. This is neutral. Unarmoured cable OD 46.5 mm diameter and gland size 50 mm. Armoured cable OD 47.5 mm gland size 57 mm. This is 240 square mm by 120 square mm neutral, 52.5 unarmoured cable OD, 57 gland size dia in mm, 57 mm. Armoured cable OD 53.5 mm and gland size 57 mm. Armoured cable OD 53.5 mm and gland size dia 57 mm. This is the 300 square mm by 150 square mm neutral, 56 mm OD of unarmoured cable, 63 gland size mm, 57 armoured cable OD, 63 gland size mm. 3.5 core 400 by 185 square mm, 185 square mm neutral, unarmoured cable OD 64 mm, gland size 70 mm dia, armoured cable OD 65 mm dia and gland size 70 mm dia. 3.5 500 square mm by 240 square mm neutral, 72.5 OD unarmoured cable OD dia 72.5 mm and gland size 82 mm and armoured cable OD 73.5 mm, gland size 82 mm and part 630 by 300 square mm, 300 square mm neutral, armoured cable OD 83 mm OD and corresponding gland size 88 mm dia. Okay, next. Here I am going to discuss about heat shrink indoor termination of LT PVC XLP power cable. This is the distance 15 to 30 centimeter long, core size. This is lug, this is the tube, this is the cable bolt, and this is the earthing lug, diameter of cable, outer sheath of power cable. First, we place the cable bolt over the cord, three cord. Here three cords are shown. First, the cable bolt is placed, then it is given flame to shrink over the cable outer sheath. Next, the tube is sliding over the core and placed different core on the over the different core, the tube. Then all the tube are given flame to shrink over the core. This is the total all heat shrink indoor termination of LT PVC XLP power cable. Okay, next. It is heat shrink outdoor termination of LT PVC XLP power cable. All are the same before, only This is rain shade. This is rain shade. Rain shade. This is rain shade. This is are positioned over the heat sink tube, and then it is uh, given flame, and it is shrink over the tube. And all are the same before the indoor it's in termination. This is cable board, this is tube, rain shade, earthing lug, diameter of cable, outer sheath of power cable. That is all. Okay, thank you for watching the video. If you think the video is useful to you, please share it to your friends and subscribe our channel. Okay, bye.